Okay, 2020 Ford Fusion. If you can hear it, oh, it just stopped. The horn is going off on this one. The alarm is active or on. If you ever have a Ford vehicle where the alarm is on, it's going to cause you a little bit of headaches if you're doing all keys lost. So this one's an all keys lost, and there's a couple ways around this. First way is you can use OEM software, FDRS or IDS, depending on the vehicle. That you don't have to worry about the alarm. You just plug in your tool, you add the keys, and away you go. Option number two is if you're using aftermarket tools, you have to disable the alarm if possible. A couple different ways you can do it. With push to start vehicles, if there's a keypad, like a touchless door pad on the side of the outside of the vehicle, it's like a buttons 1 through 6 or something, and you can punch in a combination to unlock the vehicle. If that exists on the car, there's going to be a master code. The master code is stored in the BCM, and it's also on a sticker on the exterior of the case of the BCM. So if you can find the BCM in the vehicle, you can get in the vehicle, you can take apart the BCM or take down the BCM, look on the back of it, or you can use a borescope hooked up to your phone, or you can buy like an all-in-one that has a screen on it. But you just fish this thing up there and you kind of look around for the numbers and look for the master code. Punch that in the side of the vehicle, the doors will unlock and it will disable the alarm. On regular key vehicles, sometimes they'll have that touchless door pad. If they don't, in some cases you can program the remote first and then just press the unlock button and that will disarm the alarm. So a couple different tips there for you. There is a third way with aftermarket tools where you do a 10-minute wait and you have like a 5-second window to add the key. That's never really worked out for me personally. We've had way more success with this. It doesn't take that long to get the BCM code, like maybe an extra 5 or maybe 10 minutes. And then we just know that works every time and we don't have to do that 10-minute wait a bunch of times. So yeah, we'll get into that right now. We'll show you guys this method instead of the factory tool. We do have a yearly subscription to the factory tool, so this would be easiest for us. But just to show you guys for more content how to do it with aftermarket tools, we'll find that BCM code right now. So if you look right here, it's very faint and it's a touch sensor, so there's no buttons. We're going to try to figure out the master code for this. Always make sure that the car actually has this first before looking for the code, because there's some cars that this doesn't come factory with. Sometimes there'll be physical buttons like right here on trucks and stuff, but they're kind of hard to see and the battery has to have charge. So if you just quickly look at it and there's nothing there, hook up the battery first and see if they light up.
All right, I got a good picture here. It says right on the sticker key code. Then there's 5 numbers after it, so 30375. Let's punch that in, or it's 315. Let's punch that in, and this should unlock.
30315.
There we go, lit up. Yeah, that worked.
Did it work? Did it work? Don't put that on camera. Okay, so that's a quick way to get it. We actually didn't even have to take anything apart on this. So literally took you, what, 2 minutes, if that?
With filming.
With filming, it took us like 2 minutes. So yeah, super quick. You don't need factory tools to do everything. Now that it's disarmed, we can hook up a scan tool and just go ahead with our regular programming.
All right, guys, first things first on this 2020 Fusion, we got to locate the key spot on these. It's in the cup holder. What you got to do is take that little mat out, and this one is absolutely disgusting. It's got things dripping off of it, to wipe the spot out so we don't get these brand new keys all dirty, sticky. So as you can see, there's a perfect little slot for that key. It just lays down in there really nicely. So now we can start programming. Turn the hazards on. We got our scan tool going here. Since we can't take the ignition turn the ignition on, we'll go into manual selection. Ford, USA. Scroll down to Fusion, and we have a 2020. Control unit, keyless system, key learning, and then all smart keys lost. We need data for this or Wi-Fi for this, which we have. Hit OK. This function will delete all learned keys. Would you like to continue? Yes, I would. Please confirm is the alarm active. As we showed you, we already turned the alarm off, so we can hit no on this. And now we're doing a 10-minute wait on this vehicle as well with the aftermarket tool. With the factory tool, they're On a lot of newer vehicles, you don't have to do the 10-minute wait, but on this one we will have to. So we'll come back once that wait is over. All right, this was actually a little bit faster than 10 minutes. I think we were at about 3. Select yes if you want to clear all keys. Select no if you want to add keys without clearing. If you select yes, you have to program 2 keys to start the car. So we want to clear the keys. So we hit yes, learn keys 2. It's erasing them. Current number of keys is 0, erasing successful. Place a smart key to be learned into the slot, which is usually in the armrest box, cup holder, or glove box. We already put that in there, as you saw. Hit OK. It's learning the key. On forts, if you hear the door lock cycle, that's always a good sign. That means the key learned. Current number of keys 1, learning successful. Do you want to learn the next key? Yes. So we'll take this one out. We'll put the next one in and try not to get it too sticky. Okay, now it's learning a second one, and we should have 2 learned keys now. Do you want to learn the next key? No, we have 2, that's all we need. And let's get out of this here, unplug this. Okay, ignition turns on, that's a good sign. This battery will be completely dead. We're just going to check the batteries and the keys. They're probably low. The keys still learned and the ignition turned on, so there's just a really good chance that the batteries and the keys are low. Alright, I'm thinking we're having a bad key because we confirmed the part number and it's proper. So let's turn the ignition on. Okay, it added the... We're just trying another key here, so... Let's scan this and see if we have any faults here. Go to EMO status scan and see what it spits out for us. We have 5 faults in the BCM, 3 in the ECM. And let's see what those faults are. Control module input power. Alright, we're going to do a bit more digging and then we'll be back once we figure out what's going on here.
Okay, so we're doing some more onboard programming with an Autel universal key to try and narrow down what's going on here. So we're trying to figure out if we have the wrong keys, bad keys, if something's wrong with the vehicle. Key 1 on. Put your second key in the slot, turn it on. Put your third key in the slot, turn it on. Sweet, and that's how you do onboard programming. P program failure. Another good way to do this is taking the batteries out of the keys so you know if the proximity is starting it or the backup method is starting it. Okay, batteries are out. Our car won't start, no key detected. So now let's try this onboard programming again. Key 1. Key 2. Key 3. You hear the lock cycle there? That means that it successfully added the key and the ignition turned on too, so we're good there. Key program successful, it says on the gauges. Okay, so this is working correctly. Proximity is working. Backup method is working because the key programmed. So we just have a bad batch of keys. We got 3 keys that are bad. which means we'll have to order some new keys for this customer. But we have them temporarily going. So in a case like this, what we would do is lend them this key and just say, okay, you have a way to start your vehicle. You're good to go for a while here. We'd order him the correct keys, and then we'd drive to him or get him to come to us and program him the correct looking keys. Like, every supplier is different. We don't like bashing people at AutoKey Pro, but there's one supplier in particular that is really, really bad at warrantying stuff in the USA. If you do a little research on Facebook groups, you will find out quickly who that is. So stick with good distributors. Sometimes you got to pay a little bit more money, but in situations like this, it makes it really easy. We use Key Direct in Canada. Fantastic company. They always take care of us with warranty. Their keys are generally really, really good quality. This does happen from time to time, whichever supplier you go to. So don't stress out if you have a bad set of keys. Don't get mad at the distributor. It's just how things work. Every once in a while with electronics, you get a bad batch. So we'll work with Key Direct on this. They'll get us these warranted. They'll take care of it. They'll refund us, and then we'll get the correct keys. Another thing we like to do in these situations, these are Chinese aftermarket keys. So they're unbranded. They're the cheapest, but they've worked for us really good in the past. But in this situation, what we'll do is we'll order ILCO keys instead. They're a lot more expensive. They're still aftermarket, but they're generally speaking better quality. So what we'll do is we'll order ILCO keys. If for some reason those don't work, our last step would be ordering factory keys. We just try to avoid that in most cases because they are a lot more expensive and generally getting the same thing. We'll come back to this another day.